How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my 2 cents involving teams.id no support. I hope everyone's been okay. I hope everyone's doing well. This is the first my 2 cents of the Premiership season, so this my 2 cents is about Arsenal Football Club. If you are watching this, you're going to be watching this on TikTok or you're going to be watching on my YouTube channel. So I hope you guys do like and subscribe and share it out to all your friends and family out there. So we very much appreciated going into the brand new season in the Premiership and in the NFL when the NFL season starts up with my 2 cents on the Atlanta Falcons. But until then, hope everyone's had a good summer and everyone's teams have done what they've had to do. Hope you've all had a good break away from football, but we didn't really get much of a break because when World Club Cup and the Women's Euros and stuff like that, so it actually went quite quick. And the transfers have been quite interesting as well, which we've spoken about throughout the summer as well, and which I've also mentioned um, on TikTok as well. But like I said, this is my 2 cents. This is going to be involving Arsenal Football Club and their first game of the season, which happened over the weekend against Manchester United at Old Trafford, which Arsenal won by a goal to nil with a 13th minute goal from a set piece from Ricardo Calafiori. Um, what more can I say about this game? I think the majority of people who I know have said everything about this game. Now, first and foremost, I'll get out of the way. It's good to start the season off with a win. It's good to get the 3 points on the board because it sets up the rest of the season. It's always good to get a win in your first game of the season. So that's one thing I will say. So to go to Old Trafford and get a win is always tough, but it's when you consider what Arsenal's first 3 games of the season, they arguably had the toughest start to the season out of everyone in the league, and we've gone to Old Trafford and won. Fair dues. However, and like all of you know, like I've always said, I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm also a football fan, so I won't sugarcoat anything in regards to this. Yeah, we played shit. Okay, I'm not even gonna even remotely try and sugarcoat. Yes, like I said, get out of the way first. Got the 3 points. We won the game. We're on the board. However, it's a concern when I see how the team played. That's the concern. It felt like there were certain players on the pitch who I won't name because I know if you've named them already who just don't seem. I'm not going to say interested, but they just don't feel comfortable, and there's like a big lack of confidence. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna name names because you guys all know who they are. But there was a good 3, 4 of them on the field yesterday, who well basically didn't perform, and because them ones didn't perform, the rest of the team didn't. But Gabriel and Saliba, arguably the best defense in the league, they stepped up and done what they had to do. David Raya in goal, again he stepped up and done what he had to do. He was the man of the match for me. Um, like I said, it's a concern, and it's where I want to see a big, massive improvement at the weekend. I want to see a response, and I know there's other Arsenal supporters and fans who want to see the same thing. When you look at the stats, and when I've got the stats in front of me right now, Manchester United had 22 shots on goal to Arsenal's 9, with 7 on target to Arsenal's 3, with 61% possession to Arsenal's 39%. So Man United had a bit of the game. They bossed it in good spells. Throughout the majority of the game as well, they had opportunities. David Raya made some saves. Yes, Saka could have had an attempt himself towards the end, but it doesn't. It was more of a concern to see that. However, again, I'm gonna flip the coin to say you can say there's resiliency there. Your goalkeeper's there to do what he's got to do, and that's just stop the ball from going to the back of the net. So David Raya done very well in the match yesterday. But it's still, yeah, a concern when you see that the team hasn't quite clicked. Gyökeres was on for 60 minutes and he looked like he was a little bit jaded. It looked like he wasn't sharp enough playing. He came off and Havertz came on, and it just seemed a bit, it felt like the team was just lacking a lot yesterday in that game. And again, I go back to some of the things which I said last season in regards to creativity. Lack of the creativity seems to be lacking a lot in the team. I will get to that at some point shortly because that's going to be linked to something else which is happening in the works right now in the transfers. Um, Again, I'm not going to take anything away from Manchester how Man United performed because I did predict that Man United were finishing the top half of the table this season. So, you have to give them a lot of credit for how they played yesterday because compared to how they were last season, that could have been before they made the signings of Cunha and Mbeumo and Sesko. A lot of people had Man United finishing in the bottom half of the league. I thought they would improve with what they were and would finish higher. In my prediction, I think I had them finishing 7th or 8th. So I know they're going to be finishing not higher than what they were. They're not in Europe this season. So again, I will give Man United the credit they deserve after that game yesterday. They deserved at least a draw. Like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything because of how poor Arsenal played yesterday. But, you know, you get the win, you get the win. So yeah, like I said, my man in the match was David Raya. Um, if I go to some of my groups, um, I go to my Arsenal chat group with Dan and the boys. So boys, if you're listening, thank you for listening in. I'm just going to bring up some of the things that they said. Dan was saying, yeah, Odegaard was really struggling to pass in the new kit. Saliba looks like his head is in Madrid. Lee, he was saying the pace and quality of this game has an end of the season feel, not the bloody start of a new campaign. And it did feel like that. Dan J, my boy Dan, he just wasn't impressed at all. He's just like me. So you had many people saying similar in regards to how Arsenal played yesterday, and even if I go to my other group as well, with my other boys, with how Arsenal played yesterday, let me just bring this up. Ants Ants came out and said defend the 1-0 win and taking off Rice's mental. Everyone in that group said that it was a shocking and stinky display. Towards the end, what is Alex saying? Alex is saying, yeah, from our corner kick to give away a free kick in our own half. That was towards the end. I did see that. That was absolutely poor. Um, you know, Alex again said that was lucky. Whole thing stank. You know, um, yeah, nothing was really. There was nothing about that game yesterday which you could really take any positive. The only positive you could say is that we got the 3 points and we have Old Trafford not to go to again this season. There is another thing which I wanted to read out, which is kind of similar to what I've been saying to other people as well, in regards to how Arsenal play, and it is from another fellow Gooner who has been a Gooner for the longest time, and I've known for quite a while as well. Amy, if you're listening, welcome. Hope you're doing good as well. I'm going to read out what Amy has said, and this is something which I want to pick up on as well. And I quote: "Remember when teams like United and mostly recently Liverpool weren't at their best, but grinding out results in winning titles. We weren't at our best, nowhere near it yesterday, and we are getting slated, and already the absolute tools are coming out saying we will win F4 again, finishing fourth, blah blah blah. And now I'm not saying we will win the league, but I do believe we now have the squad to push again. This might just be me, but I find I could not give a flying F if we play like that all season and grind out wins. You don't win points for how beautiful or how well you play. We as Arsenal fans know that all too well. And I will echo what Amy said there, because a few years ago, 11 years ago, when we were finishing third or fourth, we were playing the best football in the league and we were finishing where we were finishing. Other fans were saying you have to grind at the wins, you have to get the ugly wins to win the league, you have to have a goalkeeper which is going to save the points for you, blah, blah. All of that happened yesterday. And now all of a sudden, it's deemed now that we're not going to do well because we're playing ugly football. But yet we was told 10 years ago that we play good, beautiful football, but we're still not going to win nothing because that's all we want to do. We just want to pass the ball into net and blah blah blah. So it just seems like Arsenal can't really do anything right. My thing is, Arsenal could win a treble, and we would still find people saying something about this club. You know, at the end of the day, banter's banter with how some fans go on, but some fans really do take it to the point where it's like, what the hell? Like, I've literally had Chelsea fans coming out talking about how poor we played yesterday, but you spent how much money on what you spent money on? You've brought two new strikers in. You've drawn against Crystal Palace. Some fans have said, yeah, because Crystal Palace, they're a form team. They won the FA Cup. They beat Liverpool, Man City. But again, I thought to myself, hold on a second. Yeah, that was in the Charity Shield or the Community Shield, which we won or played and we beat Man City. But again, we were slated for that. But yet, Palace beat Liverpool, and it's a creditable thing. It's like, right, so it's okay for other teams, but it's not okay for Arsenal. But you know, and again, leading on from that, it was seeing as Arsenal were playing rubbish football, but we still got the 3 points. Palace had the better of the game. I don't know. All I look for is consistency when it comes to results. You know, I watched that Palace game yesterday with Chelsea, and I thought they had a better of the game as well. But I refuse, as much as I know I can speak to anyone about football, and I respect everyone whatever team you support, but I'm not going to have anyone who's going to come and say that after that, after everything that I've just said, in regards to that game, all throughout the summer we've had the team in West London saying that they've won the whole thing. They're the undisputed world champions. They've won. They beat Paris Saint Germain. They've done this. They've done that. You didn't beat Crystal Palace. I'm not taking no digs. I'm just saying what's what. I'm just saying you need to be consistent to the cause with it. I know many Chelsea fans, and I'll have a lot of love for you guys, but when you start saying certain things on one side, you then got to start thinking of the other side, because like I've always said to everybody, let's be consistent to the cause. But again, I'm not taking nothing away from the fact of how poor that's not taking nothing away from how poor Arsenal played yesterday. Um, for me, I want to see a massive improvement. I want to see Arsenal go into that game against Leeds on Saturday with a big reaction. I want to see the players playing with a huge chip on their shoulders, because that's how they should be playing. They should be playing with a huge chip on their shoulders. Instead, what I saw yesterday was a team that has said, well, we finished second 3 years in a row. What is the point? And that's how it looked. So for me, it's like, no, you should be playing with a chip on your shoulder to say, you know what, enough of this now. You got to take the ball by the horns, get some big balls, and just go out there and go and do what you got to do. You're more than capable of winning this division. You're more than capable of winning the league. When I'm asked a question, I say the same thing. Arsenal are capable of winning. They've proved that over the last 3 years. So I want to see an improvement in our next game, which is against Leeds on Saturday. I would love to see, just to calm nerves, I'd like to see Gyökeres score a goal. I'd love to see Madueke come on and do something, just to calm the nerves, just to get the flowing of confidence back into the team. Because I think once the confidence is there, they can start going again. We'll see how it goes, But as much as, again, first thing I said, yeah, good to be on the board of the 3 points, but the overall performance yesterday was shocking and quite concerning, and I expect to see a vast improvement on Saturday. I'm not saying that we should go up against Leeds and win 4-5-0, but I would like to see the team playing with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more freedom, and expressing themselves a lot more on the pitch. Especially with the players that we have, we should be able to go out there and on our day be able to turn the team over. With the greatest due respect to Leeds with our next game coming up. So that's where I feel Arsenal should be in that regard. So let's see how it goes on Saturday, and then I will give my reaction to that game as well. So watch this space. But like I said, guys, it's brilliant to have you guys back. First game of the season. Whoever you support, I wish everyone the best of luck in the season. Whoever you support, whether it's a Premiership team or La Liga or the lower league teams, especially with some lower league teams needing all the support that they can get right now. More notably, Morecambe and I do believe Sheffield Wednesday. Um, and I'm someone who likes to look out for what happens in the lower divisions. So I hope them clubs can get all the help that they can get with their current situations. Hopefully, especially with Morecambe, I hope their owner gets out of there and they can start over again and start fresh as well. So Morecambe, any Morecambe fans out there, um, yeah, I'm wishing you all the best out there for the future. But um, until then, my 2 cents will be on Saturday. I will do a brief thing on my 2 cents involving the Falcons, as they're still in preseason. I think their last preseason game is against the Dallas Cowboys, and their first regular season game is on the 7th of September. Don't quote me on that, guys. I have to look at that one up. But with that one, I won't be here. I'll probably be doing up my 2 cents. Well, I won't be in the UK. I'll be in the States, so I'll be doing that my 2 cents over in the States. So yeah, keep a lookout for that one as well. But guys, that's my 2 cents involving Arsenal Football Club. Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. I will see you guys on the next one. And yeah, do keep a lookout. Please like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Please follow me on TikTok as well on the Way Day Sports on TikTok. Sorry, and the and yeah, just like and subscribe on YouTube as well, which is Dino Comment Away Days. Do tell your family and friends and tell all your other fellow football fans as well, because I do speak about everybody. I do like to speak about transfers and other players from other teams as well. So yeah, it'd be great to hear from you guys and be great to have some new people following as well. So guys, God bless. Take it easy. I'll see you guys on the next one.